Welcome to Unaccountable, the most okayest accounting game show. I'm your hot sauce enthusiast host, Tyler Otto, and I'm joined by an enthusiast of hot sauce enthusiasts, Jeremy Van Groll. Hey, bud.
Hey, dude, that's not easy to say, and if I understand that correctly, that means I enjoy hot sauce enthusiasts?
Yeah, hot sauce? We're both struggling with that word.
We need easier words at the beginning of the podcast. Oh, man.
I like spicy things, and you like people that like spicy things.
Yeah, and this is true. I also like people with nice teeth. And I believe you had an incident here that I would love for you to expound on.
You're referring to, yes, I had a little work done since you and I last talked. I look like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber with a nice little chip right out of the center of my front two teeth. That was amazing. Yeah, family trip to Lake Tahoe. Moment we got into town, I chipped off part of my front and I looked magical.
Big gulp, huh? Well, see you later.
Yeah. No, it's my own fault because we stopped at the Costco in Reno, Nevada, because us Utahns get stoked to not buy stuff from the super expensive state liquor store, and it's half price in Reno. And yeah, loading up with those glass bottles, I could not fit it over my kid's car seat without smacking myself in the face. So there you go.
Well, congratulations, you look good now.
Thank you.
At least as good as you did before the incident.
Well, and if you couldn't tell, I had them do a little Botox and a couple other things, little nips, a couple tucks.
Got some Barbie lips. Oh, love it.
We should not be allowed to banter, which is good reason to jump right into the games this week.
Yeah. So we got a new one to start out this week. And before I start with it, I would love just to encourage the audience, which we know is like 5 or 6 strong at this point, given we're on episode 3, to when we have these cool games and questions we're asking each other, please play at home. Like, write down your answers. By far, they will likely be better than ours, and you will probably get higher scores than we get. And we would love to hear some feedback on how you did, and if you think we're being a little too easy or a little too rough on each other.
No comment.
No comment. I wanted to get... No, I'm not going to go there. All right, so the new game this week, which I am going to pose to you, sir, titled Within Reason. So, for our avid mom listeners, if you remember from week 2, we had a game called Accounting Mashup, where you brought some things together. And so I kind of took a spin on that, and I've called this Within Reason because there is going to be a accounting or shenanigan item within a name or a sports team or a movie or a song.
Okay.
Concept makes sense?
I mean, I have to just put words to, or find words within words. It's like a word find within a crossword.
That's right. So, for an example, if I were to say a draw at a sporting event found within your name, that answer would be
Tyler Otto.
Tyler Otto. Okay. Correct. So, okay. One word or concept within a greater phrase, name something.
Okay. People are about to find out how dumb I am.
All right, 10 of them coming your way.
Let's do it. Time.
Here we go.
On the clock.
All right, first one. A posting made in the financial records found within a passage for entrance.
In a passage. Wait, an entry? An entryway.
Entryway. Okay. Well done. First one. Love it. All right. Let's keep going here. All right. An abbreviation for an army workout found within a popular AI tool.
AI, I only think Chat GPT. Physical training.
Physical training. Right. 2 for 2. Nice work. All right. Let's keep it going. The dedicated list of financial records found within a popular financial news source.
Wait, the Journal? Like the Wall Street Journal?
It is Wall Street Journal, right. So that would be the Journal is your dedicated list of financial records. Wall Street Journal. My preferred financial news source.
Oh. I go to BuzzFeed.
Ooh, right.
I'm kidding. No one take me seriously. We just got canceled.
Oh, no good. All right, moving on. A financial plan typically compiled annually found within a company based on lending out vehicles.
But budget rent-a-car?
Budget rent-a-car. Correct. So, fun fact, I am that goober that still says borrowing when I mean lending, and I had borrowing in here. And then I'm like, Jeremy, don't be a goober because your wife will yell at you. Make sure you put
So you're the guy that says, like, borrow me your money.
Borrow me your money, sir. Yes. I am.
And you make me cringe, people like you.
All right, moving on. Okay, an abbreviation for a turnover in football found within a popular personal budgeting online tool.
Mint? No. YNA.
You had it.
Oh, you are tricky. Like, okay, a turnover American football. I was just looking for TO, but you're talking about an INT, like mint.
An INT and mint. Correct, sir.
Man, you're staying on brand with QuickBooks and Intuit. Staying within their family with Mint. Jeremy, do you use Mint for personal finance, or do you recommend it to any of your clients? Because I don't.
I do use Mint, but I only use it to like track my net worth.
Okay.
I don't do budgeting in
You
it.
could do that on your fingers and toes. What are you using Mint for?
That's true. I'm gonna cancel tomorrow. However, Intuit, when we get big, we would love for you to buy us out.
That's true. Yes, we're always open to offers.
Yes, amen. All right, next one. A period of time when an accountant is closing the books for a business, found within the name of an actress famous for her roles in the show Damages and film as Cruella de Vil.
Oh, Glenn Close.
Glenn Close. Very good, sir. Yes. Next one. A clean term for becoming pregnant with a child, found within a word uttered many times by a character in your favorite movie.
My favorite.
What's your favorite movie, Tyler?
Are you talking Princess Bride, like my favorite movie to quote?
Oh, so that is not your favorite movie. I thought it was.
So there's a little cult drama out there called Drop Dead Gorgeous. It's, a cult comedy. Like, it's fantastic. Before Amy Adams got big, Brittany Murphy before she passed away, Kirsten Dunst, like, that might be my favorite comedy. But you're talking Princess Bride, so I think you're going Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. The conceive in inconceivable. Another offside question. I asked this to my children the other day. That actor, what Pixar character does he voice?
Wallace Scott. What does he... he's on the kids show Stinky and Dirty. I can tell you that. He's tall.
I don't know that show. He's the dinosaur on Toy Story.
Oh, yeah. Wallace Scott. All right.
Yeah. He's good.
I missed the bonus point.
You're doing pretty good. Missed the bonus point. Boo. All right. This one would have been hard for me, but I put it out there. A QuickBooks competitor found within a 2012 movie that chronicles the hunt for Osama bin Laden after the 9/11 attacks.
Okay, the first QuickBooks competitor comes to mind. Okay, Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30. Very well. Yeah, I don't know if I would have got that one, but I liked it.
It's a good movie.
I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one. I'm going to have to see that. All right, sticking with the movie theme.
Yeah.
Common name of one small unit of U.S. currency, found within a 1993 film in which Al Pacino won Best Actor.
Al Pacino?
Al Pacino.
All right, Al Pacino. I'm guessing like it's Cent or Penny. Pennywise the Clown. That's from It, so it can't be it.
He's not it. That would be Tim, whatever his name is.
Are you talking about like the penny whistle solo from Titanic with My Heart Will Go On?
Ooh, no. But you had one of the words right.
My Heart Will Go...
For the small unit of U.S. currency.
Penny?
No.
Cent?
Cent, yep.
I'm struggling here.
Hooah! Nothing?
Oh, Scent of a Woman.
Scent of a Woman.
My
Chris O'Donnell.
Gosh, you're...
Hooah!
I needed a lot of help on that one.
You did. You're right. Last one, maybe the hardest one, and maybe my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay? An 80s and 90s groundbreaking alternative band found within the name of this show's moderately sexy host.
You're really talking either of us up, whoever's moderately sexy. I don't even know which one of us that could be.
Don't kid yourself, sir. All right, so like an 80s, 90s groundbreaking alternative band. Some of their... The one song, I won't say the one song you get it right. Stand, or What's the Frequency, Kenneth? Some of the big ones they've had.
For some reason, all I want to do is talk about Dave Grohl with Jeremy Van Grohl. That's not right.
That's a good one, though, next time.
Yeah.
What about the song Losing My Religion? Nothing?
I got nothing.
R-E-M.
Oh, in Jeremy.
A-E-R-E-M-Y.
Okay.
In Jeremy. That was still good. I think you got a pretty solid 80, 90% there.
You know, that's how I like to get by in life. You know, B's and C's, it's good for me.
Amen.
All right. Jeremy, I don't know. My brain's fried. I can't do anymore. So you know what? We're going to turn the tables. It's your turn this week for Fast Figures. Now, for those of you that haven't listened to our last 2 episodes, basically anyone that's not our moms, you can go back and listen to them. But Jeremy has 10 questions coming at him in about a minute-ish. And all the answers have to be an exact digit number. All right, Jeremy. Last time you did pretty successful, so I may have upped the difficulty level a little bit. But I think you got this. Are you ready?
I am ready, sir.
All right. Time on the clock starts now. What is the annual gift tax exclusion for taxes for 2023?
$25. Wait, I'm going to go with that. Yeah, 25.
Okay. Within 20 million, how much did Barbie make in its opening weekend?
Ooh, I think, wasn't it 160 million? I think.
All right, we'll see.
I'm going 160.
If you are depreciating an asset over 5 years using straight line method, what % of the asset are you expensing in year 1?
Year 1. I went to months right away because I'm thinking, what's 1/60th of this? If you were doing years, it would be 20%.
How many Mission Impossible films have been released to date?
Tom Cruise, Prince Money. 7.
That should be its own show, Tom Cruise, Prince Money. All right. According to the Fair Labor Standards Act, how much must a salary employee make each week or year? Give me either answer, Jeremy. But they do it by week in order to qualify for the overtime exemption. Essentially, you can have them be exempt from overtime if they make at least this much in salary.
I don't know, $1,000.
How many actors have played James Bond?
Oh, God. 7?
Okay. What is the short form name for the IRS form titled Employee Withholding Certificate?
Employee withholdings would be with payroll. It's going to be your W-4.
Unchanged since 2018, what is the corporate tax rate for 2023?
30%. I should know this. No idea.
How many tax brackets are there?
5?
According to your website, nonprofitbookkeeping.com, how many employees do you have, yourself included?
Oh, how many do we really have? What does the website say? I'm going to say the website says 15.
All right. The clock is up. Jeremy, do you feel any better after the fact?
No, there was a lot. Yeah, no. I'm going to say maybe batting 500 on this one.
All right. We'll see how it goes. Question number 1. What is the annual gift tax exclusion for 2023? You said $25. I think you misunderstood the assignment.
Yeah, this is like the nature of being in the nonprofit niche. That's like a charitable... Or no, that's gift. Like you can give internal gifts under that amount that's free. Yeah.
This is like, you know, if your mom wanted to just straight up give you money. At what point does it become taxable? Does it have to be reported for dollar amounts over that? The answer is $17,000.
Mom, Christmas is coming up soon.
And the fun fact
Please.
is that it's usually a per person thing. So just saying, mom and dad can divide.
Oh.
Yeah, $17,000 for 2023. Good to know.
Is that? Can you do that every year?
Yep. And if your mom wants to give money to me too, she can as well.
My mom will never give you anything, Tyler.
Jeremy, within 20 million, how much did Barbie make in its opening weekend? You said 160. It feels like you've been studying for the exam. 162 million. You are correct, sir.
There's a big movie weekend, so yeah, I tried to stay switched on. I think I saw that figure somewhere.
Well done, sir. If you are depreciating an asset over 5 years using the straight line method, what % of an asset are you expensing in the first year? You said 20%. The correct answer, of course, 20%. Yeah, just divide it by years. Straight line, which for most bookkeepers, I don't know why you'd be using anything other than straight line. Like, yes, there's double discounting and all those other ones out there, but like most of your clients, they're not getting into that space. I mean, I get the point of doing it, the section 179 where you can advance it, but yeah for regular depreciation, straight line works.
But you'd think, like, if you are a successful business owner, you would make more money as time would go on. You wouldn't want to bring forward expenses unless you can do that every year.
Well, that's the strategy. That's the conversation. If you think you're going to be just as profitable next year and the year after, take the expense now because you want to save money now because you can reinvest it for the future. If you think that you're going to be much more profitable in future years, you don't want to advance the depreciation. In fact, you'd rather take the expense later.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of what I was thinking that way. But okay, makes
A
sense.
whole lot of strategy. Jeremy, how many Mission Impossible films have there been to date? You said 7. The correct answer is 7. And no, I cannot name them all.
Yeah, I think I saw the first, like the one where he drops down with the wire and he's like,
That was number 1.
was that the first one? That's the only one I remember. Only scene I remember from
I think I can sum up all the movies really quickly by iconic scene. There's wire drop in a computer room, smack him in the face with a motorcycle, hang from the side of an airplane, run on the side of the Burj Khalifa, and I'm pretty sure Jeremy Renner showed up at some point in another. That's all the movies. That's all you need to know.
That's right. That's probably a good summary.
All right, Jeremy, according to the Fair Labor Standard Act, how much must a salary employee make each week in order to qualify for the overtime exemption? You said $1,000 a week. The correct answer, which I didn't expect you to know off the top of your head, but I think is a good discussion point, is $684 a week or $35,500 a year. And the big reason I think this is important is because oftentimes we'll see employers who want to put employees on salary to try and just get away from doing overtime, right? Like, well, you're a salary employee, but you got to be paying them at least enough. And there's even rules around this with Department of Labor reporting where people have to be doing a white collar job. And it talks about what goes into white collar, and is you have to be managing certain people, doing desk jobs. So any blue collar people can't be overtime exempt. Have you ever seen any companies get in trouble with this, even back in your corporate life?
I have not had personal experience with this other than like we had a client that wanted somebody salaried, but like at halftime salaried that they were going to put in, which is weird to begin with, but like, no, they're going to put in half the normal time and we want them salaried, not track hours and all that. And to complicate things further, they're in California, which nobody wants to get into California labor laws. And I'm like, nope, we need to figure out something else here. So I pretty much, put the kibosh on that. But that was been my only experience with this one.
Yeah. And some states and cities have even higher limits. So make sure your clients are aware what those are because some of them try to be sneaky. Jeremy, how many actors have played James Bond? You said 7.
Shot in the dark.
The correct answer was 7. I actually would give you credit for 6 or 7 because there's debate around if David Niven counts. He did the original Casino Royale, but it wasn't part of Eon Films, who did all the rest. So I don't know. But the other ones, I should have written them down, but I think I remember these. You have Sean Connery. George Lazenby is the guy that only did one, Her Majesty's Secret Service. Timothy Dalton, Roger Moore, Daniel Craig, and Pierce Brosnan. So there you go.
That's impressive. How do you know this?
I am wasted a lot of my life on useless trivia knowledge. Basically, pub trivia was my life for half my 20s.
Oh, all right. I like it. We haven't done trivia. We're going to have to do that.
Right after we do karaoke next time. Jeremy, what is the short form name for the IRS form titled Employee Withholding Certificate? You are correct. It was the W-4. I was trying to trip you up and see if you were just going to be thrown off by the title, because I don't think any of us ever stop and look at what the actual name of that form is.
I feel like that is accurate and also may challenge this being part of Fast Figures that there is a letter in the answer, sir.
Yes. Fair point.
Oh, it was a good question.
Unchanged since 2018, what is the corporate tax rate for 2023?
30. I don't know. I should know this as a business owner.
21%. So ever since they made those changes in 2018, it is a bit more advantageous to start being a corporation. So we're seeing it a lot more these days than we did in the past.
Yeah, it just makes sense, right?
Jeremy, how many tax brackets are there? You said 5. Unfortunately, there are 7. 10%, 12%, 22, 24, and then all of a sudden the whopping climb to 32, 35, and 37. To quote Ron Burgundy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, that does escalate quickly. And the only one I remember, I think from the last time that I did this, is the first one, 10% cuts off at 11 grand or something a year, which is ridiculously low, right? But yeah, definitely want to manage what tier you stay in that one.
I was doing a consultation for a client a week and a half ago who is luckily in the 35% bracket. And she was very distraught at first that she had to pay that much in taxes. And I had to remind her, like, Lots of people would love to owe what you owe in taxes, like to be bringing in that level of income. Yes, 35% is a big chunk, but also you have some of the best problems in the world. Not to say we shouldn't still do our job to try and help them find savings, but
Yeah, so I just again brought this up because I had no idea, but you have to have 230,000 to 500 some odd thousand to be in that bracket. But I feel like people in that bracket, and this is not to criticize any of the tax advice that you would get, but get like smart tax people involved that they don't end up paying that amount. It's like make sure you're using this loophole and putting this in way here and all of that. And did you know there's a bank in Barbados or whatever it is, right? I don't know.
Jeremy's tax advice, bankinbarbados.com.
Don't come to Jeremy with your taxes. Noted.
Last question. According to your website, how many employees do you have, including yourself?
Oh, this was a good question.
What was your answer?
I said 15.
The correct answer is 19. And is that even accurate?
We just hired one more last week, so I think we're at around 20-ish. Some of them are part-time too, like we're very flexible, but yeah, 2021.
Wow.
That's what I'm have to give our marketing manager some props. That's pretty recent, so I like it. Keeping it up to date.
This basically turned into a game of 50-50. You scored 50%, but hey, you're going to have time to redeem yourself later. And plus, it's halftime. So, it is the time where we all get to go to the sidelines for a second, and we need a quick snack. Yes, get your orange slices out, and it's also time for an app snack, where every week we take a bite out of an app in our industry that's doing some cool stuff. And Jeremy, would you like to introduce today's app snack?
I would happily introduce today's app snack. So today, this week, we're going to talk about Relay, which is a online banking option for businesses and very flexible and, again, with the times, what's the word I'm thinking of? Current, modern banking alternative to a lot of those old brick and mortar banks that have the word old or other things in their title.
Masterfully done. No, I absolutely love this option for our clients because just the ability to see everything you need with that client, to get all the images you need for checks, deposits, super easily. You're not digging into certain settings if it's even available with the bank. I also love just for our clients that I'm a big fan of the profit first method. Now, no, I am not touting myself as a profit first professional. Mike McAllowitz, don't come get mad at me. I just love your book. And clients that use Relay, because Mike McAllowitz and team have partnered up with them, you can set up automated transfers to have funds withheld for sales tax or your rainy day fund, or, you know, Jeremy, I think you were saving up for one of those donuts for your chair to sit on for your tender tush. Like, you can have a rainy day savings account for those things and have money automatically set aside. I love it for that reason, just because it's super easy to set up new accounts and do that. And plus, they just released interest-bearing accounts, which get anywhere from, I think the lowest was 0.5% all the way up to 3%. But you got to put a lot of money in there for 3%. I'm not holding over $500,000 with them. So unless, again, if y'all individually want to give under $17,000 to me, we can do it as a team, folks.
First of all, as long as you're not asking why my tush is tender, we're cool. But no, I agree. Like everyone that I know of that is in an accounting firm, like loves this tool, right? Because it's so easy just to set up and get the information you need, right? We struggle with this one a little bit in the nonprofit space, only because if you're doing banking as a nonprofit, typically the treasurer of your board is a banker and they want you to use their organization, or that you have a bank as a donor or contributor to your cause. So it's hard for them to say like, hey, give up that $5,000 a year that brick and mortar bank is giving you to try to go over to this. But been a great tool. We tried to get actually one of the clients on there, but they are ridiculous and have about 40 bank accounts that they split up because they're uber sensitive to keeping restricted funds separate because they haven't had a good bookkeeper to do it in the accounting software. But no, I think it's amazing. It's something that we internally need to look at transitioning that over.
Yeah. And I will say their payment options as good as anyone else, especially if you get on Relay Pro, which accountant firms, you can get it for free. And then you put your clients on it for a discounted rate. So you can send free bank wires, free same day ACHs, checks. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. So give Relay a check out. Go down to the show notes and we have a link there as well. All right, Jeremy, back into the segments, and up next we got in the news, where we got 2 articles this week, and I'm curious if you wanted to go first.
Yeah, I would definitely like to go first here. So, The one I got to share with you this week is just released a few days ago that my favorite government entity and yours, the Internal Revenue Service, actually made what I believe to be a positive announcement that they are going to end their practice of having their unarmed revenue officers visit households and businesses to collect account balances and unfiled returns, etc. So that in itself pretty cool, and I think the reason why here is relatively easy to look at or to figure out even from a layperson is, first of all, like so many, I don't say hackers, but like bad people have caught on to this and have impersonated these agents trying to swindle people out of money. Spot the fraud. So like that's huge that, you know, we don't want to like encourage or open up avenues for crooks to have to get people's monies. And then secondly is like their actual agents, I can't imagine are welcomed with warm arms when they come and visit a taxpayer, business, whatever it is, trying to collect these things. I'm going to guess that gets a little tense and heated. So for their own safety, they're going to stop doing this. And what are they going to do instead? They're going to send you more letters, right? To, hey, you need to schedule a time with one of our agents to come in or do face-to-face or whatever it is. So overall kind of cool, but can't imagine the more letters that are going to come from the IRS because of this.
No, Jeremy, that's incredibly cool. The last time I was contacted by the IRS, someone just called me and said I need to go get gift cards for iTunes at Walmart and then give them the codes, and that's how I paid off my debts. That's legit, right?
I think so. Yeah. That's probably the way to do it. Yeah.
Or police come get me. Yeah, that's what the person on the phone said. No, that's right. I mean, it's exciting to hear that we're also not spending money then on people to go in, especially when they were probably operating off bad data because the IRS is so behind on notices and letters anyways. Those agents are probably working with very incomplete information.
Yeah, true story. And I think the moral here is for the audience is like, this does not lessen your risk or give you a green light to not be compliant with your taxes or your tax filings. They did like note in the press release that they had something like 100 and some odd tax cases closed even last month for $38 million, right? So like stay compliant with all the things. Just know that if you get somebody coming at your door and knocking, they're probably a swindler of some sort.
Love it. Jeremy, The article I'm bringing in this week is the Federal Reserve has announced a new payment system. It's called FedNow, and to me, of everything I'm reading, this is almost like what they have in Europe, right? With the SWIFT payment system, where you can transfer money instantly between banks. If you're over there, you can just instantly wire money to someone else, and it goes to them without having to pay these exorbitant fees. Supposedly, the Fed is trying to release their own version of this. And yes, it will have, limits on how much you can send, which is only at a per customer credit transaction limit of $500,000. So I don't think I'm really at risk for running into limitations there. But there's a lot of people out there that think like, oh, no, Tyler, we can already send money instantly. Like I do it with Venmo or Zelle. But you're not actually sending money between banks. Just Zelle is moving it from one account on their platform to another account on their platform. Same with Venmo. It's not actually leaving banks. Relay can do this right now. I had a customer send me money in Relay, and it was instantly out of his account and instantly into mine because it's just transferring Relay bank accounts. This is a system that would allow you to instantly transfer between banks, which right now what we have is either expensive bank wires or the automated clearinghouse, ACH, but that takes several days. And really, there shouldn't be a reason we don't get with the times and be able to do this. Now, I know there's some people that are probably going to be very anti this because it's the government being able to see how you move money, but banks report that anyways. So I guess I'm not as concerned about this, but it says so far that 30-something, I'll have the exact 35 banks, including JP Morgan and Wells Fargo, have already signed on. So hopefully this is a service we see soon and hopefully free, not like just another expensive bank wire option we can pay for.
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool, but I also my career started with a bank, and banks make money off of these transactions by charging the good people or good businesses out there for this. So how do they make up this profit, right? Or make up these revenue? So that will be an interesting thing to follow. Also, I did some quick calculator math, not head math, that if everybody is sending us $17,500, there's only 28 or 29 of them before we hit that $500,000 threshold. Oh. So, I mean, keep that into consideration. Maybe we should just start a line or a waiting list for those donations.
I feel like I'm ready to say we can cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Right.
Jeremy, that's all we got for In the News, but have no fear because we're not done learning yet about some recent updates because we're going to play a game of fact or fake where I have 3 news articles for you from this last week. Now, the question for you is one of these is completely made up. You have to spot which is fact and which is fake. So, as we jump into it, we have article number 1, which a Virginia school district is scrambling to rework budgets after a $201 million error. Now, I could read through this entire article, but I will just read the second paragraph, which is during their school board meeting Wednesday night, the chief financial officer of the PWCS school district told the board members that they'll be short $10,709,000 for fiscal year 2024 budget because of an error made in the Virginia Department of Education. Basically summarizing in this article, as I'm reading down further, there is an Excel spreadsheet that the department makes available to local divisions, and it led to funding calculations that were overly generous, he said, a difference of $201 million difference between expectation and reality statewide over the 2 fiscal years. So essentially, school districts are now scrambling because of an Excel spreadsheet with a variable that wasn't updated but was made available.
Okay, I feel like this is extremely plausible because there is all sorts of large organizations that are still relying on spreadsheets and not having good controls in place to validate some of these things. So, okay, I'm leaning towards pretty fact on this one, but interested to hear the next 2.
Okay. Article number 2. Deutsche Bank accidentally sent a hedge fund $6 billion in a fat finger mistake. Essentially, a mistake by a green employee nearly cost Deutsche Bank billions of dollars, according to the news report. In June, a junior banker accidentally sent $6 billion to US-based hedge fund client after mistakenly processing the order as a gross figure instead of as net value. Basically, it goes on to say that, just describing what a fat finger mistake is, which I think we're all familiar with. And it does point out that the boss of the junior trader who processed the trade was on vacation at the time, according to sources cited.
This to me, okay. Like, there's no backup for billion-dollar transactions for review? Okay, all right. Interesting.
So, there you go. Deutsche Bank, $6 billion mistake. Article number 3, headline reads, Unpaid for 23 years, a tale of one bookkeeper's mistaken generosity. It says, for most people, the thought of working without compensation for even a week sounds absurd, but for a local bookkeeper, it's been reality for 2 decades. Brenda Thompson, a diligent and kind-hearted woman, has been keeping the books for a long-standing client for a remarkable 23 years without receiving a penny. One other line in here, this article's too long to read, but it started innocuously back in 2000. Thompson, a then fresh and ambitious bookkeeper, was excited to bring on a new client, and in a flurry of paperwork and orientation, she forgot to include the onboarding fee on the initial invoice. 6 months into her meticulous efforts, she then realized the oversight, but then she felt too embarrassed to admit the mistake and bill the client retroactively for all those months that she forgot to set up their billing. Fearing the potential damage to her reputation, she chose to absorb the cost and kept moving forward. And the article goes on to essentially say she never brought it up until 22 and a half years later when one of her employees brought it up when they found the mistake. Now, it does point out that there was financial restitution. The client was super nice and talks well of her. We're not going to go into the rest of the article. But article number 3, unpaid for 23 years, bookkeeper is afraid to admit she forgot to set up the recurring billing.
Oh, God. I hope that one's fake. That's awful. I mean, like, sometimes even any of the payment processors, QuickBooks, what have you, like, just get stuck and you got to have a validation for that. And we've had to go back, like, 3 months and be like, hey, our charge didn't go through 3 months ago and my junior bookkeeper didn't catch that. We're going to send that through, but you got to get them. You got to get paid, man. All
Your
right.
options are, did the school district accidentally make a $201 million error? Did
Okay.
Deutsche Bank accidentally send $6 billion? Or did a bookkeeper just work for free on one of her smaller clients?
I feel like there had to have been some kind of check or balance in for billion-dollar transactions at Deutsche Bank, so I'm gonna call that one out as the fake.
Now, I realize I may have lied a little because I said articles from this past week, which no, they're articles I found this past week, but this is a 2015 article where Deutsche Bank actually did send $6 billion to a hedge fund that they did not intend to.
So that one isn't fake then. It's
That
true.
is real. That happened, which blows my mind that even some of the largest banks out there can make a mistake like this. Just points out that, like, process and procedures, folks, we all need them, not just even us little guys.
Internal controls.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Never cut corners. So that leaves you, Jeremy. You have two choices left. Which one's real? Which one's fake? Did a school district in Virginia make a $201 million Excel error, or did a woman work for free for nearly 2 decades?
I don't know, pick from either of these because I feel like that Excel thing happens all the time, but I also feel like somebody would have caught, and after 20 years you would do that. I'm gonna go with the school one, fake.
The school is real. A Virginia school district legitimately sent out an Excel spreadsheet that they just made available with this error. It had something to do with the amount of tax rate and whatever else. I didn't track it too well, but essentially they did not update variables and people thought they were getting more money than they actually were. So the other article, I just went to ChatGPT and gave it 2 sentences, write an article about a woman that didn't get paid for 2 decades. It came up with like 800-word essay. It was great.
But like super specific too. That's scary. Like the name.
Brenda Thompson. It gave her a name. It even gave her client a name and what their business was. We should maybe post a link to the article ChatGPT wrote in the show notes.
Yeah. Man, I mean, like that stuff is so powerful and still just such a mystery. But wow, yeah.
Jeremy, I'm sorry, no points. So I'm gonna leave it to you to tell us who won and lost this week.
Oh, I can happily do that. So I think a winner this week, and we kind of had a theme, maybe not even intending to have a theme, was like movies, right? In movie theaters. This was the big week where the whole Barbenheimer thing came out, and Barbie made 160 something that we said, and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, which I really want to see and haven't yet. That one raked in another 80 or something, right? So like the fact that people are getting back out to the theater, you can't stream it, all that, movie theaters should be a big winner there. However, loser of the week, I'm going to go same thing, movie theaters. So like when the story came out, the stock popped, right? Like it was like AMC and Marcus, they both are like, yeah, this is going to all happen. Are they not aware of the writers and actors strike out there right now? Like this is going to have long-term negative implications for them when they don't have any content to put out there in the screen. Like not everybody's going to go see a Fish concert in the movie theater or something that they're going to try to put out there with.
I want to look at their P&L soon because it's going to be a roller coaster. Roller coaster. No, I think that tracks. Well, Jeremy, for another week of Unaccountable, if anyone wants to submit any questions for the future, or if you listen to our first episode and you're aware of the PETA of the week, we are always accepting submissions, which the PETA, for those of you that don't know, go Google the acronym. But essentially, we're looking for those stories of solidarity in our accounting industry, just to everyone relate. So, PETA of the week submissions are there. Beyond that, Jeremy, until next week, and people can just see our quality standards continue to go down, you have a good week, sir.
You as well. Always a pleasure.